Continuing on with the Clone Wars, I hopped on over to the Citadel arc, starting with Season 3, Episode 18, The Citadel. This episode is a prison break episode. Cool concept. Apparently no one has ever escaped from the Separatist-controlled prison, so Obi-Wan, Anakin, and crew are going into the prison to try and help Jedi Master Peel escape. Peel is being tortured for information regarding the Nexus Route, which was a hyperspace route that was important to both factions of the war. Controlling the route would allow for an overall strategic advantage for whatever army controlled it. Anakin doesn't want Ahsoka to go on this mission. Ahsoka doesn't like this, obviously, because look who's training her, a Jedi who seems to be reckless, undisciplined, a rule breaker. Most people learn by example. There's a whole lot of nurture in the nature. A leader leads by example, right? They should lead by example. The entire tone of an air wing, division, a detachment, you name it, is set by the officers and the NCOs. If you have an undisciplined and reckless leader, that trickles down. I like seeing this evolve between Anakin and Ahsoka. It's interesting. I thought it was neat that the prison was originally designed for Jedi who went rogue. The prison was a Republic prison made by the good guys to house the rogue Jedis, and now this big fortress is being used by the Separatists to imprison their adversaries. So R2 reprogrammed some battle droids, which are gonna help infiltrate the prison. The plan is to carbon freeze everyone, every organic being on the ship, in order to get through the Separatist life scanning systems. The reprogrammed battle droids will fly a ship to the prison, pretend to be Separatists, unthaw the carbon frozen allies, and then the rescue commences. I was surprised how much tension I felt during the scanning process. But the show did a really good job making you feel a little on the edge of your seat, wondering if they'd be caught. The scene definitely reminded me of Fly Casual. So they get through, the scan didn't detect any life forms, our fearless heroes get unthawed, and it turns out Ahsoka actually snuck on board the ship, despite specific orders not to. When Anakin confronts her, Ahsoka says, quote, "If there's one thing I've learned from you, it's that following direct orders isn't always the best way to solve a problem," close quote. So, like I said earlier, Ahsoka is learning by example. And I'm curious if later on in the show, this will come back to bite everyone in the ass, because it seems to work out most of the time in their favor. And I'm just waiting for everything to fall apart because plans shifted and someone ignored some orders. But things work out. There's a vent that only Ahsoka can fit through. She sneaks through and turns off the shield so everybody can also get through. So if a character in the Clone Wars was told not to come along on a mission, but ends up sneaking their way on that mission anyway, they will always serve some unexpected purpose. Oh, I'm glad we had blank with us. It's a little silly. It seems to have happened a lot in this show. Like I said earlier, I'm just waiting for that big moment of failure. I like the lore of this prison. Something that was originally built by the team we're supposed to be rooting for that is now being used by the enemy team against our team. There's a part in the episode where a moving force field wall thing starts sweeping down the hallway and actually kills one of the clones. It was like a pipe cleaner that would push down the hallway and get rid of anything in its path. I thought this was just a really neat, fun defense mechanism to have in the show. A complete hallway clearing energy field. Kind of like the Raiders of the Lost Ark Boulder. That's what it reminded me of. So the Jedi and crew infiltrate the prison and are attacked by some special droid units. Master Peel is being tortured and is ultimately rescued right before a droid is about to pluck out Peel's one good eye. So they're halted in their tracks as they escape, and the main bad guy in charge of the prison fires up this magnetic field which pretty much disarms everyone. Ultimately, everyone escapes, more allies are rescued from the prison than we originally knew were in there, and one of those allies turns out to be Tarkin, which was a pleasant surprise. I've always known Tarkin was majorly present, or at least present, I don't know if the term majorly is the correct word, in the show and other materials, and I've always been really curious what his backstory is, so I'm excited to see where this is all leading. The groups separate and Anakin and Tarkin team up. I have no idea where this is leading. I definitely didn't expect Tarkin to pop up at the end of the episode, but the fact that he did makes me even more excited to continue watching this arc, because most episodes end with a hint of where things are going, where they're progressing, and I don't really remember there being a big kind of hint. Just the fact that Anakin and Tarkin are together, which in itself is exciting. So far, I'm really digging the Citadel arc. And I just have to say, my baby daughter right now is laying in her boppy on my desk. She's just staring at me, kicking her feet and swinging her arms and wondering what the hell Dad's doing. I don't know what the hell I'm doing either. But she's smiling at me. Alright, you sweet little shit. HelloGreedo, out.